Again?
I missed that one.
Again?
Good over there.
Dude, you are funking this room up bad, man. Dude, that smells like rotten bologna.
It smells like freaking pickled asshole.
To be fair,
Stop.
the leftovers I had were a little bit rotten, but I ate them anyways.
You realize that'll make you sick, right?
Do we want to watch a movie?
I want to watch a movie.
Hey, Rob, why don't you hand us the second movies over there?
Good God.
Second one?
Okay, so here's the movie. This one is called
Oh my.
Ouija's.
Ah, no.
Ouija's.
Okay.
This looks like a Munchies type movie.
Yeah, well, yeah, Gremlins.
Yeah.
Legend of Chupacabra is my vote.
Legend of Chupacabras. In 1997, 3 cryptozoology students ventured into Santa Maria, Texas, to make a documentary. A year later, they finished it. Is it mere folklore? Is it okay? You know what? Whatever. Let's do it.
You're saying this is better than just watching somebody walk during tours in real
You know what
time?
this feels like? It feels like it was something that they were trying to shop around to like Fox or something at that time when they were showing like the alien abduction. You know, I think that thing is real.
I was about to say that.
I think it's a real goat.
Look at his tongue.
Uh-huh. Didn't see that one coming, did you?
There's your something to laugh at. So this is a documentary about a news reporter doing a news report on the Chupacabra down in the Rio Grande Valley. Like, that's South Texas.
Santa Maria.
Santa Maria, Texas
Right.
is where it is.
Series of brutal animal mutilations and other strange occurrences has brought the University of Rio Grande Valley School of Cryptozoology to the Texas border of Mexico.
Okay, so she's not a reporter.
She's not a reporter?
In 1997, 3 cryptozoology students ventured into Santa Maria, Texas to make a documentary.
I think that cameraman with that camera. That cameraman, they're probably using that camera to film this too. That camera right there.
A B camera?
Yeah.
But anyways, talking about Legend of Chupacabra, you, and in this case, he's your friend.
You disown him at this new
Yeah,
distancing
with this,
yourself?
yeah, you and your friend for some reason.
It's a good 20 years ago.
Yes.
I don't know why.
Why?
But I watched this over at Billy's place. I think it was like, you gotta watch this movie. You gotta watch this movie.
When you came over, I had to torture you with it. This is your original?
Yeah, this is the disc that we
Okay,
watched 20
okay.
years ago.
Okay.
Really?
Interesting.
Okay, guys, so some backstory on us. Like, we're absolutely into cryptozoology stuff. That's big feats and chupacabras and Mothman and all that kind of stuff, right? Billy is big into like D-list horror films. So this is like perfect for him, you know, and you are into like Communion, you know what I mean? Like, you're into like really crappy horror movies and cryptozoology movies and creature features and stuff. So like the two of you,
Is that one that bad? Communion?
Communion is not that
I've
bad.
never seen it.
anyways, the two of you watching this snuggling together like doesn't surprise me at all. But you guys talked about this movie for years. You guys talked about this movie like it was the greatest crypto movie ever freaking made.
Well, here's the thing. When we watched it, at that time, that was the worst thing I'd ever seen. That was the worst movie. And I hadn't seen it since. And not only did we watch the movie, we watched the bonus material on DVD too. The funny thing is I remember the bonus material more than I actually remember the movie. I just remember the movie was horrible. Watching it again 20 years later, it's not as bad as I remember.
You guys, what? What did you just say?
But we're also coming off of
That's why.
Okay, we're also coming off
D.B. Cooper.
Bigfoot versus D.B. Cooper.
Yes, exactly. There's something to compare it to now.
You gotta be kidding.
You've got to put that shot.
You gotta be kidding me.
Okay, now if y'all want to tap out, maybe. What is Bigfoot doing? Why is he being so sensuous with him? Yeah, dude,
And-
that upshot
and that one-
on the crotch, like I don't know if you can ever top that as far as bad goes.
that movie.
But you know what? It seriously wasn't as bad. I remember it just being droningly, just going on and on. Like,
This?
really, really bad pacing. The pacing's not good, but it's not nearly as bad as what we've seen.
Then why did you two talk about this movie back in the day like it was just the best thing ever made? You guys would always reference this stupid movie.
No,
Always.
I think you misunderstood
Clearly.
the references.
Clearly.
We were talking about it as one of those movies that's so bad it's good type of thing.
It's not, though. And now here you are going, better than I remember. Is it, though?
That's how bad I remember it. Yeah.
Is it, though?
It is. It's not nearly as there were actually some positive points to this movie that I don't really have to.
Absolutely.
I don't have to stretch, like really think to.
Okay, then let's touch on the good. Let's do the good, the bad, the ugly on
Okay,
this. Okay,
okay.
the good. The opening, I'll agree.
One of the positives of the movie is the Chupacabras looked the way it looked back in the late 90s.
Yeah.
It was cool looking. It had the spikes and like the alien eyes and stuff. And now it's turned into like a dumb hairless dog with the mange. That's what a Chupacabra's been devolved into, and it's ridiculous. It's not cool or scary looking.
My Chupacabra.
This is more of the Chupacabras that I like. And you know what? All things considered, the costume wasn't the worst.
Terrible. No, it wasn't the worst.
So the dog one is now what, the Chupacabra?
Yeah, the Chupacabra, because it's stupid looking. It's a joke, man. There's nothing scary about what they are calling a Chupacabras now.
You know what, though? This is a much better Chupacabra monster outfit compared to that Bigfoot.
One of the worst decisions I've actually ever seen on film.
Oh my god.
Because he shot the Chupacabras. He's sitting in a cage
With the tranquilizer gun.
protect him. With a tranquilizer, true. He's 5 feet. The thing is laying 5 feet from him. Hold on, I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna get a better shot.
Get out to get a better shot when, dude.
Point blank range.
Yeah.
He was point blank range and the thing was on top.
Shot his gun through the cage, he would have been 3 feet away.
3 feet away.
from the thing.
Yes, but he needed a better shot.
Go in for a better shot.
You got the best shot on the planet right now.
5 feet away from him. Why don't they all just swarm him and start beating him down?
He needed a better shot, so he had
And
to
he
get out
ended
the
up
cage.
getting his because of that poor decision.
Yeah. The guy's name was Army.
Because he was in the army,
I guess.
military.
Dude, all I know
His
is
name
this.
was Army. I never even caught
Yes,
that.
all I know is this. The Chupacabra hit him in the gut so hard he knocked him out. And when he came to, he started attacking Pedro, or whatever the guy's name. That guy was the best actor in the movie, actually.
He was.
Pedro, the one speaking the Spanish. He was like, oh.
I thought it was Hector.
I've seen them drink some beer in La Cantina. I can take you there if you want me to. I have seen them do things that normal people cannot do.
He wakes up, attacks him, thinks he's in Nam, and one of the cameramen is like, you weren't even in Vietnam. You'd have been 10 years old.
I don't know if that was supposed to be funny.
It wasn't.
It was confusing.
It wasn't.
That line.
I had something like that pried out of my ass in Nam.
Armstead, you're delirious. You were never in Vietnam.
The witch was straight up annoying.
The witch was annoying.
The movie would have been better if she would have gotten it. If she would have gotten killed, and Army would have gotten killed a little bit sooner, and they would have expanded Pedro or Hector's whatever role.
Yeah, he was actually pretty good.
Because it was like, oh, this guy's the most natural sounding out of anybody. The old man wasn't bad.
You know how much money they could get for a live Chupacabras? Why would they do that at this point if they have them secure?
Yeah.
Those are Diamond Shamrock matches. No, he wasn't bad.
When he wasn't playing
He
scared.
crouched down a lot.
Yeah.
He was very like, why are
Until
you
he
still
burned his
crouching?
face off and just put that rag over it.
Which was the second dumbest move in the whole movie. They got the Chupacabras caged, right?
They got the Chupacabra caged.
Why didn't he just pour the alcohol on him and light a match?
But instead, he makes a Molotov cocktail,
and
apparently.
he's like this, trying to light it right by his face,
dude,
right before he becomes Two-Faced.
Another thing, before he becomes Two-Faced.
I'm gonna burn this son of a bitch!
He burnt himself. He literally got Freddy Krueger, and he's like, I think I'll be all right.
Another thing is Army is like, we're gonna take this dynamite and we're gonna blow. Wait. We're gonna blow up the opening.
Firecracker.
Yeah, we're gonna blow up the opening, and then the chick's like, oh yeah, so whenever the Chupacabra comes home from hunting, he's gonna be all discombobulated and confused, and that's when we make our move.
I got enough dynamite here that the force of the blast should seal it shut.
Why didn't you just wait till the motherfucker came home? He was like, nah, I think I'll turn in for the night and then blow up the hole. Then he starves to death.
Then when it comes back from its hunt, it'll at least be confused, disoriented, frustrated.
Her plan consists of him walking up to his hole going, oh?
He's sitting there with the dynamite. He lights it, throws it, and then starts running where I'm like, okay, if that's a real explosion, that guy's getting scratched. He should ran the opposite way where there was some type of ground covering.
First of all,
and then it goes.
There's a little, like a cherry bomb or something. He should have been facing the hole, the opening, so he could throw it in instead of being on top of it and just dropping it and go. I don't know. There was so many bad things. And then it's funny because who was saying the entire movie, why don't you guys go get help? Where's the police car? Radio for help. And then at the end of the movie, he finally goes, well, we're gonna go back into town and get help. Why wasn't that an option from the jump?
At this point, you should be calling the army in, you know?
Why did it take 70% of the people dying around you before you finally go, hey guys, I got an idea.
And especially considering there was an actual officer there with the group. And they didn't make that decision until everybody was dead.
Yeah, but the sheriff was the first one to die. And instead of going to get help, they just, let's just bury him.
They just kept going.
I just like that. There's, no autopsy, no investigation. Nah, just put him in the ground.
I think somebody would have jumped on one of those goats and rode it to the next town if they couldn't contact somebody, you know?
So that's the sheriff, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, in the ground.
So he didn't have a family?
No, of course not.
Okay.
Nah, just put him in the ground. What happened to the Indian guy who was convulsing with the alcohol and then all?
And what happened with him?
What was even the point of that?
Why is she essentially running his stomach?
Did she say it's venom? Chupacabras aren't venomous.
She said its venom is possessive. Like it possesses you. So maybe they do start turning into chupacabras.
Or chupacabra minions.
If the chupacabras gets you, right, and you live, then you start to turn to something?
Did they say she got bit when the camera was off?
Yes.
Because I missed.
No, she said she got bit. It was during one of the scuffles. I don't know. They even showed it on her arm, actually. They showed her bit on the arm. So she was starting to turn or be possessed or whatever it is they were trying to do with this, right? Just like the Indian dude on the table, okay? Just like the girl who came back to camp all like looking like Shannon Doherty and her back was all scratched up and then just wanders off again. But the thing is though, hang on, if you kill the chupacabras, again, the vampire effect, you kill the chupacabra, then everybody that it affected goes back to normal.
So she probably just died of dehydration in the desert then.
Possibly.
Because she was just wandering around, right? They didn't show her die?
They didn't show her die.
So,
but her other witch buddy was just like, screw this, I'm out. Like she took $100 and just disappeared.
She was a smart one then in the whole movie. Because that was what I would have done.
Are they going into his lair?
They can't go into his lair. They freaking blew up the entrance.
Well, apparently not. That's his lair.
Uh-oh. Baby chupacabras.
Why would you at this point not at least break those eggs and kill the babies so there's not a horde of them running around?
Dude, I'd be punching the shit out of those eggs.
How did they blow the entrance out and then end up
in it? Exactly.
Okay, so who set off the dynamite? The same guy.
Army.
Who shot the chupacabra
and then
at point blank range.
Yeah, okay. Then had to get a better shot when he was 5 feet away still.
He just screwed it all
Well,
up.
Maybe he just sucks.
You would assume by the way the movie was presented that was a successful thing because then they went back to the cave.
Sure.
So you would assume that they were successfully sealed the entrance.
Right.
But then the rest of the crew ends up in the entrance anyways. How do they get in here? Well, let's just ignore that and just have the camera turn on and they're inside. And wait, they were inside and then they're inside some abandoned building with some illegals? How did that happen? What did I miss there? I kind
I
of
don't think they noticed anything.
They came across.
Was that building underground in the lair?
No, they just came across a house. They were looking for shelter.
How did they get out of the lair, though? I'd see, because I kind of glazed.
How did they get into the lair? That's the better question. They shouldn't have been able to get in.
I don't know. Did they show them get out? I don't.
Seriously, I was just thinking.
Do we watch it again?
No.
I was just thinking. One of my favorite parts is he's like, I'm gonna bust down this door. 5, 4, 3, and then he just kicks it in.
He's like, ah, screw it. He didn't even.
He doesn't even finish.
5, 4, 3, 2. It's an empty house.
Props though for actually using like real guts for the special effects.
Oh yeah, some of the special effects were actually really good.
Yeah, I'll give him that.
And I
Dude,
wanna,
that goat looked real.
I want to say that was a real dead goat.
That goat looked real.
And even some of the I guess the bodies that they came across
weren't bad.
Until they got really close, and it was like, okay.
They weren't bad though from, several feet away. It almost like, hey, that almost looks like they dug somebody up.
Yeah.
That's too good for this movie. That's too good of a mummy body for this movie.
That's pretty darn good, man.
I mean, I guess 480p on a, digital camcorder from back then.
Hides a lot. But you could tell it was the same body for all three people that they found.
I do like the fact that the old guy, he gets injured, right? Burned on half of his face, and the rest of the movie he's just got a bandana on that side of his face. They just drape it over.
The shot where
so
the other cop gets his arm ripped off, and he's all, oh, and the thing is just
like right over his face. You can't even see him
screaming, oh.
And then they showed him at the end in the interview footage, like he had healed, right? And that was pretty good makeup.
And we were like,
it's like, wait a minute, that's not the same guy. Did they like go find a disfigured dude to stand in?
There was some effort in the special effects.
There was some effort in special effects, yeah.
I think overall, though, like, so the story, it was kind of glossed over, the whole thing that the thing was like a genetic, I guess, escape from a lab creation or something.
Looks like a barcode to me.
That's what I thought.
It's hinted at a couple of times with some missing tapes or something, and then the barcode at the end, but it's not really addressed.
It's where you really got to pay attention to that opening sequence. I think even Billy said they were like, "Oh, okay, is this like a government experiment that got loose?" And the opening sequence definitely alludes.
So you're dependent on the dialogue, which was probably the biggest chore to actually pay attention to.
Yeah.
Well, what they could have done, what I would have probably done is. To kind of drive home that you right at the moment where they think they're about to die, maybe like a special forces unit comes in with like a scientist.
Scientists and guys in coats and stuff.
Because they've been tracking it.
Yes.
They've been tracking it down.
They shut down the documentary. They take the body because they're having the autopsy. Yeah. That would make sense, and it would tie the thing together a little bit better. You know what? Yeah, and then the footage is found. It's like they're about to kill the lady, and then it like cuts. And then, you know what I mean? And like, okay, this is found footage, and they all got wiped out by the government agency.
So wait a minute. Okay, if this was a government experiment that got loose.
That's what I'm thinking.
So what was the purpose? Like, are there just too many goats out there and they need something to stem the goat growth?
You unleash a chupacabra on whoever, you want to unleash it on.
What's with the wings?
The wings are weird.
Why does it need to fly?
But it didn't fly.
They said it flew.
They said it flew, so it flew.
Didn't fly.
There were times when it seemed to glide through the air like it was flying.
I know we didn't see it
fly on camera, but it flew, or almost flew, or seemed to fly.
You know one of my favorite parts was when Army and the cameraman were in the cage, and like he had dropped the camera so it's facing the cameraman, and you see the chupacabra go right by him in the back. That was the best.
The same place that they saw it originally, and they're looking the opposite way. Like, that's where the chupacabra was hanging out. And then they're looking like, oh, where is he?
Yeah.
And then he runs right by where he just was. The dialogue and just the way the scenes were written, like when they're at the table in the kitchen, Dude, I almost fell asleep during that. I didn't know what they were talking about.
Yeah.
I think I almost did fall. Like,
So boring.
We were talking about that big ass freaking deer head,
yeah.
you know, over what was actually going
That was
on.
distracting you more than what
Yes.
was going on in the
Yes.
scene. I would have gotten rid of the cops completely, because that would have eliminated, hey, why aren't you radioing for help? Your sheriff, your boss just got offed, and you're just going to go on a wild goose chase hunting this thing.
The burial scene didn't need to be there at all.
Really sell that they were stranded in this little outpost somewhere.
See, that's the
with
thing,
no
though,
communication, because I didn't buy it for one bit. There should have been a rotary phone in one of those houses to where somebody could have made a call.
Not only that,
The
though,
sheriff car should have had a radio.
had a radio, yes. And as soon as that first cop died, the other one would have absolutely jumped in his cruiser and been like, yo, I need some help down here. Like,
Exactly.
The fact that he didn't even do that, didn't even think to do that, is just like, it's unrealistic. Now, I get it. We're talking about a freaking Chupacabras movie here.
I would have taken out the whole possession aspect of the
not
Chupacabra.
necessary. The witch
I would have
didn't
definitely taken out the witch. I would have taken out Army, and I would have just focused on the cryptozoologist.
Well, one thing that I see as an issue is it's like they took two different ideas that would have worked really good separately and then tried to combine them. For instance, they have the Legend of the Chupacabra, which is supposed to be this mystical beast or whatever, but then also it's also something that was created in the lab. So those two ideas don't really mesh. So either do one or the other. It's a mystical beast you're going around to find, then you have the mysticism of like all the voodoo stuff with it. And okay, fine, you can go that route. Or if it's just a beast that's escaped from a lab, just concentrate on that.
I think what would have been good too is toward the beginning of the movie, instead of having like interview, where you're just kind of like glossing over and going, what would have been interesting is maybe all the cryptozoologists getting ready to go. And so the camera's following each person around to kind of introduce, okay, this person is going to be this thing. This person, Army, is going to shoot the dude or shoot the thing, whatever, you know? And that way you can get a little bit of character, introductions there.
A little character development.
That might have helped.
You kind of, when you said the introductions of, I'm thinking like Aliens, how
Exactly.
you really kind of start to get to know the crew, the Marines before when they're about to go in.
Army's doing chin up,
Well, that's the thing. It should have been more like if it was an escaped government project, it should have been more like a Predator type of movie where you send in the mercs. You know what I mean? And obviously it's a freaking Chupacabras, so he's maybe has an advantage of stealth and
No,
night
that's
or whatever.
the sequel.
I'm just saying. Well, I'm just saying, like, if
to establish that it's real.
So this is like Aliens.
That's
Aliens.
That's the thing, though, is like
You bring in the military.
Billy's right, because if you take like the legend of the creature, and it's not fabricated in a lab, then it should have been one story. But if it's fabricated, it should have been another story, and that story should have been, like you said, more like Alien or like Predator, where you send an elite special forces out to find it, and all hell breaks loose, and then at the end, the military with the
It would be kind of funny, is
scientists and all
it?
that
Like,
stuff.
it's just like like the cops now. They have the cameras on them. It'd be, or like in Aliens, where they've got there's somebody watching all the different footage, and and then you got one guy who's freaking out, and then another guy's like slapping him. Get a hold of yourself, all that kind of stuff. Dude, that would be great if it was like that.
Yeah.
And then the person sitting there watching all the footage is going, "Oh my God, this is crazy."
But also, if it was like that, it probably would have been seen by more people, and it wouldn't be a lame movie, and
It wouldn't be
sitting
Troma.
here- Yeah, it wouldn't be Troma,
yeah.
basically.
How would you classify the Chupacabra though? Like is it? It's not a reptile. It's not mammal.
Well, that's the thing.
But
Is
it
they actually called it I don't say reptilian, but a reptile.
It was a chimera of some sorts. But again, I think that goes to the fact that they were trying to say that it was a lab-created creature.
Okay. Because because it lactates.
But wait, but that means they created it with like the ability to reproduce
with eggs,
which is reptilian.
Or bird.
But they
or
all
bird.
Had wings.
Okay.
But they also said asexual too.
They did say like a frog, right? Are frogs asexual? I don't even know.
But then why does it need to
Like
lactate?
Melvor.
Why?
You gotta feed the young.
Yeah, you got to feed your young.
You gotta feed your young.
How many alligators you see running around friggin'
teats,
like suckling. It just doesn't.
But
happen.
again, it's a chimera. It's a hybrid of different things. It's.
I guess
it's a lab experiment.
I guess. I mean,
they
okay.
took DNA probably from a bunch of different things and tried to make one
One of
creature.
those being a dog.
I think technically it was a better made movie than some of the other ones that we'd seen, but a less memorable movie at the same time. And I think maybe I'm kind of not surprised why I didn't remember much about or hardly anything about the movie. It's kind of forgettable.
At least D.B. Cooper, no one's gonna forget that.
Nobody's
Bigfoot was fondling Johnny, and that up crotch shot. Yes, being very sensuous with Johnny, man.
You gotta be kidding.
You've got to put that shot.
You gotta be kidding me.
Okay, now if y'all want to tap out, maybe. What is Bigfoot doing? Why is he being so sensuous with him?
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think I'm going to say Suburban Sasquatch is my number 1. This is number 2, and D.B. Cooper by far is number 3.
I was actually going to say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Because at least Suburban Sasquatch had like a plot, like a story that was moving forward.
Yes, I will remember more of that movie in 20 years than I will this one again, even though I've seen this one twice
But
now.
the effects and everything, like there was some passion there in, like you said, the effects work and stuff
From
like that.
From a technical standpoint, even though the pacing wasn't bad, it wasn't like really bad like the other movies that we've seen. The special effects were actually pretty entertaining. Overall, minus Army, the acting I think was a notch better than the other movies that we've seen so far too. It wasn't good, but it wasn't nearly as bad. There was actually a couple of people in there that were halfway tolerable.
I think I'm gonna have Legend of Chupacabra barely edging out Suburban Sasquatch because I think there's just more positive to this movie. Now,
I don't disagree. Technically, it's a better made movie.
Yes. I think the acting was better, not by a lot, but it was still better. The police uniforms, that's definitely over here for Legend of Chupacabras. I really like the practical effects and the special effects in Legend of Chupacabras better than Suburban Sasquatch. The effects is really what's putting it over the edge for me.
Okay.
They had all cow intestines or pig intestines or whatever they were pulling out. Like that looked authentic. And then it's going to be Suburban Sasquatch, and a very, very distant third at this point would be D.B. Cooper. Billy, you want to chime in?
Yeah, Billy. Yeah, I know what his number one is going to be.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Legend Chupacabra. 3.
3?
3.
Okay.
Legend Chupacabras 3.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Suburban Sasquatch 2.
I knew it.
And I'm gonna go D.B. Cooper.
Way up at number 1.
I laughed more in that movie than the scene of the fondling. Man, that's the best scene out of any one of these movies.
No, the guy
but the funniest part about that
was probably the best scene.
The funniest part about that movie isn't the movie; it's him leaving. I can't do this.
I'm out.
What? You've got to put that shot.
You gotta be kidding me.
Okay, now if y'all want to tap out, maybe. What is Bigfoot doing? Why is he being so sensuous with him?
You've got to put that shot in the video. I promise.
What?
Wait a minute. What?
I love that you can see the rubber bending on the gloves. Oh my gosh. Dude, they're going to go back and forth.
I'm done.
Just come back. No. Come back.
From what we've watched, I would give it a 7.
Yikes. That's not a whole lot of room for growth with other movies, though. That's...
Have you seen the selection of movies we have to work with?
Yes. It's not going to get much better.
Oh, it's gonna get better.
Okay, so if we're comparing it to things we've seen so far, then I'm gonna leave room for growth, and I'm gonna say I think this is even too high, a 5.
I'm gonna give it a 6.
6?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give it a 5. I'll give it a 5. I'll go midway.
I think right now DB Cooper is like lower echelon. Like that's that's like the bar for, okay, it has to be this bad to get a score of a
Yeah,
1.
that's different level editing
Yeah,
and
that's
pacing.
bad.
I guess maybe the way I'm looking at it, I mean, I know that you know, we had a good time watching DB Cooper, even though it was awful. But to me, it's kind of like, and maybe this is why I don't drink, is because like if you watch a movie by yourself, that's kind of how I judge. Like in a room full of, you know, we're watching this, we're laughing, it's fun.
Oh, no,
But when you're watching it by yourself, can you sit there and watch Bigfoot with DB Cooper and go,
No. If I was watching any of these movies alone, I would have turned them off. I wouldn't have even made it like halfway through.
right?
But the fact that we were watching it to do a video and we were kind of, you know, riffing on it a little bit at the same time,
Yeah.
it makes it a little bit more tolerable. But the reality is, movies just aren't that good.
Hey, look, quality of filmmaking, okay? Quality of filmmaking, DB Cooper, by far.
Okay,
at
I'll
the
give
top.
you that, sure.
What?
But none of those movies have the
Chupacabras didn't
fun.
have the upward
Yes.
crotch scene, right?
Yes, yes.
That's what takes it over the edge.
Any scene that makes you walk out of a movie is great.
And I think that was the best
Are
part.
you
when
going to start
laughed.
using the up crotch just like, you know, the all right and all that, you know?
That was the most uncalled for thing
I'm not disagreeing
I've ever
with you,
seen.
but
I don't know. What about the guy in the shower?
dude, I think that was worse. I think the dude in the shower was
kept going.
worse.
It kept going.
And
The whole
you knew
movie-
what he was doing.
The
Yeah.
whole movie just kept going though. Like it was ridiculous.
I mean, not wrong.
did you
yeah.
really need to see 8 different dudes traverse the stairs, go into the room, pose for 42 minutes for no reason with no clothes on? It made no sense. If
You know
you're
what,
gonna
though?
do that you do it once.
You know what, though? We're still talking about it.
Yeah,
So,
So mission accomplished.
Yeah, we
yeah.
were.
It made an impact. It changed our lives.
That's true. This is about chupacabras, yet that
Here
movie's
we are.
creepy.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We know what we're watching next, Billy and I do.
Well, it's one of these two, right?
No.
Oh, it's not?
It's not.
What is
It's going to be a new movie for all of us, and I'm looking forward to it.
Throwing a curveball.
Yeah,
For all of us.
for all of us.
No one's seen it.
It's a newish movie.
It was released actually last year, I think.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you want to say what it is?
No.
So they're
no,
ready for
But
next
I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
I am looking forward to this.
Actually, have you seen any of the movies by this person?
Yeah,
You have.
Yeah.
How many?
just one.
Okay. Well, that was good because we got a lot to choose from. He has like 5 or 6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ooh.
we're gonna.
Whoa,
You'll see.
yeah.
You'll see. I'm a fan.
I did pee in the backyard, though. That happened.
Is this a Tommy Wiseau film thing?
No,
Please, not Tommy Wiseau.
no.
I think he's only made one.
He's only made one, as far as I know. Which that needs to be on the list at some point.
I mean,
Have you ever
does it
seen it?
need to be?
Have you ever
I
seen
think it does. I've never seen the movie.
You've never seen the movie?
Okay, can we get a hint?
No.
Is it a creature feature?
No, we can't give a hint.
But you said you're a fan. That kind of scares me a little.
I'm not going to go off and watch it before we do
No,
here. I
it
just
doesn't
wanna
matter.
know.
No.
Okay.
It's a surprise.
All right.
I think it's one of those things where it's like you don't know what you're getting into until you get into it.
Well, we never know that with you. Look at the crap that you picked for us to watch. This is the.
So you guys need to stay tuned for the next episode to know what we have up our sleeves, Billy and I.
Interesting.
And until then, see you later.